Metz. For most of the 20th century, Metz was really two companies under one name. Photographers around the world knew it as one of the three largest flash manufacturers on the planet, the mecablitz units that sat in millions of camera bags. In Germany, the same name stood for premium televisions, built in a small Bavarian town and sold only through specialist dealers. Today, one half of that company no longer exists. The other belongs to a Chinese corporation and, remarkably, still builds televisions in Germany. This is the story of Metz, a family firm that survived a world war, a factory fire and decades of competition, until one November day in 2014 changed everything. The company was founded on the 28th of November, 1938 by Paul Metz, a young engineer in Fürth, near Nuremberg. It began as TAM, Transformatoren und Apparatfabrik Metz, a transformer and apparatus factory with a team of just 12 people. Two of his closest colleagues, Karl Hutzler and Wilhelm Thum, stayed with him from the first day. The date explains the early product range. Founded less than a year before the Second World War, Metz manufactured electronic devices for Carl Zeiss, high-frequency equipment, and shortwave transmitters and receivers for the military. In February 1945, the factory in Fürth was partially destroyed in an air raid. The consumer electronics story begins in 1947, when Paul Metz established a radio division and launched the company's first receiver, the Postillon, a tube radio that quickly earned a reputation for its sound. The company motto of those years left little room for modesty: Metz, always first class. In 1950 came the product that made the name famous, the Metz Baby. It was a portable tube radio roughly the size of a brick, 4 tubes and a 5-circuit superhet inside, and it sold more than 150,000 units around the world. Decades later, the company itself described it as the Walkman of the 50s. The catalogue grew quickly. In 1951 came the Philharmonie, a radiogram with a built-in record player and, very much a product of its decade, an integrated bar cabinet for wine. In 1952, the Musicus, an affordable amateur tape recorder. In 1953, the Babyphone, a battery-powered combination of radio and record player that became one of the defining German portables of the era and today a sought-after collectible. There was even a camera, the Mecaflex of 1951, a tiny single-lens reflex of which only around 1,900 units were made. But the most important decision of 1952 had nothing to do with sound. That year, Metz began manufacturing electronic flash units, initially also on behalf of other companies such as Agfa. The product line was named Mecablitz, short for Metz Camera Blitz. Under this name, the company would rise into the top 3 of the world flash market, exporting to more than 90 countries. Television arrived almost in parallel. In the summer of 1954, prototypes of the first Metz television, the Model 702, were already showing the Football World Cup from Switzerland, the tournament Germany remembers as the Miracle of Bern. 1 year later, the 702 went into mass production. Then came the event that defined the company's geography. In October 1956, a fire destroyed the cabinet factory in Fürth. Paul Metz treated the disaster as an opportunity. He acquired land in the neighboring town of Zirndorf and built a new plant there. From 1957 onwards, Zirndorf was the home of Metz, and it still is today. Around the same time, the company became one of the earliest adopters of printed circuit boards in German radio production. In 1958, Metz presented a world first it called the Magic Eye, automatic contrast control that adjusted picture brightness to the light in the room. Some version of that idea now sits in practically every television sold. In 1965, the Mallorca series debuted at the Berlin Funkausstellung and won an award for its industrial design. 2 years later, it became the basis for the first Metz color televisions. Color broadcasting officially began in West Germany on the 25th of August, 1967, when Vice-Chancellor Willy Brandt pressed the ceremonial button in Berlin, and that same year, Paul Metz pressed a button of his own, starting color TV production in a new factory building in Zirndorf. The same period produced the Capri S, a set with a screen that swiveled inside it, housing, decades before swivel stands became standard. In 1969, a third division was added, plastics production, which allowed even the TV cabinets to be made on site. By the 1970s, the formula was set. Metz televisions were premium products, sold exclusively through specialist dealers, positioned on build quality, repairability, and service rather than price. The walnut-colored Nordkap, introduced in 1977, stayed in the range for a remarkable 23 years. The company even had a sense of humor about its Franconian roots. In 1978 it ran the first radio commercial in Germany recorded in dialect, Metz mehrhört er, roughly meaning I'd like a Metz too. Metz also offered audio equipment in these decades, receivers, tuners, cassette decks, loudspeakers and compact systems for the German market. But audio remained in the shadow of the two core businesses, and it never defined the brand again the way the baby once had. The flash division, meanwhile, was becoming a world power. Automatic flash exposure control arrived in the late 1960s. By 1972, 2.5 million mecablitz units had been produced. By 1982, 5 million. In 1976 came the model many photographers still speak about with reverence, the mecablitz 45 CT1, the classic hammerhead flash of press and wedding photography, a design that kept evolving all the way until 2008. And in 1984, the SCA adapter system allowed a single Metz flash to work with different camera brands through interchangeable adapters, an idea that cemented the company's position at the top of the market. The late 80s brought more television success. The Creta of 1987 became one of the most successful tabletop sets in Germany, and in 1990 Metz developed its own 100 Hz technology for flicker-free pictures. In 1993, Paul Metz died at the age of 82, after 55 years at the head of the company. His widow, Helene Metz, took over at the age of 69, and ran the company for almost 2 more decades, until 2010. The strategy did not change: premium products, specialist dealers, production in Zirndorf. The module concept of 1995 was typical of that philosophy, a unified slot system that let owners upgrade their televisions for satellite, cable, terrestrial, analog, or digital reception instead of replacing them. In 1996, the Bavarian range offered interchangeable front panels in 64,000 possible color combinations. Even the transition to flat screens seemed to go well at first. The Talio was the best-selling LCD television in German specialist stores in 2006. A year later, Metz introduced fully self-developed LCD sets with a modular, upgradable chassis, and in 2008 the last cathode ray tube television left the production line. The flash division kept its habit of firsts. Metz flashes were the first in the world to offer firmware updates over USB port, and in 2012 the mecablitz 52AF1 became the first flash unit with a touch display. And yet the foundations were eroding. Flat panel televisions turned into a commodity, with prices falling year after year under pressure from Asian mass production. Metz was now one of only 3 companies, alongside Loewe and Technisat, still developing and building televisions in Germany. Turnover stood at around €108 million in 2011, but a premium set built in Bavaria and sold through a specialist dealer is an expensive proposition against mass-produced panels. The flash business faced the same mathematics, as inexpensive Chinese units flooded the market and dealers began dropping the mecablitz range. On the 19th of November, 2014, Metz worker filed for insolvency at the district court in Fürth. The company still employed around 540 people. 110 jobs were cut within 2 months. In the spring of 2015, the administrators announced their solution: not one buyer, but 2. The company Paul Metz had built as a whole was cut in half. The television division went to Skyworth, one of the largest television manufacturers in China. The flash and plastics divisions went to the Dorm Group, an investor from the Firth region, and continued under the name Metz Mecatech. So the question of what happened to Metz has 2 answers. Metz Mecatech began with good intentions. It brought flash production back from Asia to Zirndorf, continued the mecablitz range, and added LED video lights. Then, in 2018, it bet on something entirely different: an electric scooter called the Mover. The scooter did not sell. When the pandemic collapsed revenues in the spring of 2020, there were no reserves left. Insolvency was filed at the end of August 2020, and by the end of that year production had stopped for good. After almost 70 years, the mecablitz story was over. No successor, no spare parts, no more firmware updates. Today, Metz flashes live only on the second-hand market, where, true to their reputation, most of them still work. The television half took a different path. Metz Consumer Electronics was founded on the 1st of June, 2015 as a wholly owned Skyworth subsidiary, keeping development and production in Zirndorf. In 2016 came the first Metz OLED television, the Novum. In 2018, the company launched a second, global brand, Metz Blue, smart TVs built on Skyworth platforms and sold at mainstream prices. The classic line, Metz Classic, remained what it had always been: developed and assembled in Zirndorf, sold through specialist dealers, with long warranties and a focus on repairability. In 2022, the Lunis became the first 42-inch OLED television made in Germany. Today, around 150 people still work at the Zirndorf site. The classic range keeps collecting German industry awards, and the company has even expanded into photovoltaics. In 2025, the historic factory grounds were sold to a real estate group, though production continues on site. And there is a detail history clearly enjoys. For the 2026 Football World Cup, Metz released a limited edition OLED television, 72 years after prototypes of its very first set showed the World Cup of 1954. So Metz is a rare case, a brand that went through insolvency and yet, in a meaningful sense, is still alive. If you have ever owned a Metz radio, television, or flash unit, share your memories in the comments. Those stories add a lot to videos like this one. If you found this history interesting, a like and a subscription help the channel. Thanks for watching.